What's going on, guys? It's your boy John the Liquidator coming back with a major story. Napheesa Collier just spilled the beans about CATHY and how she really feel about Caitlin Clark. Guys, for this one here, we got to go all the way up to Minnesota. Let's get it. Let's go. I am here to tell you Napheesa Collier is about to get a fine of a lifetime. The WNBA is about to drop a super fine. Bro, she went in her exit interview and spilled the beans in a major way. She spilled the beans about CATHY and Caitlin. Basically, Caitlin should be grateful to be in the league. What the hell? She spilled the beans about the CBA negotiations, the refereeing process. And guys, this thing is so impactful. I don't think it's going to be, man, it's going to be real hard for the W to recover from this. I mean, bruh, she told it all. I'm done talking. Roll the footage.
I have prepared a statement that I would like to make before taking any questions. All right. So first of all, I'd like to congratulate the Mercury for advancing to the finals. And I want to be clear, this conversation is not about winning or losing. It's about something much bigger. The real threat to our league isn't money, it isn't ratings, or even missed calls, or even physical play. It's the lack of accountability from the league office. Since I've been in the league, you've heard the constant concerns about officiating, and it has now reached levels of inconsistency that plague our sport and undermine the integrity in which it operates. Whether the league cares about the health of the players is one thing, but to also not care about the product we put on the floor is truly self-sabotage. Year after year, the only thing that remains consistent is the lack of accountability from our leaders. Sorry, I had to walk here in my boot. I'm kind of out of breath. The league has a buzzword that they've rolled out as talking points for the CBA as to why they can't pay the players what we're worth. That word is sustainability. But what's truly unsustainable is keeping a good product on the floor while allowing officials to lose control of games. Fans see it every night. Coaches, both winning and losing, point it out every night in pregame and postgame media. Yet leadership just issues fines and looks the other way. They ignore the issues that everyone inside the game is begging to be fixed. That is negligence. At Unrivaled this past February, I sat across from CATHY and asked how she planned to address the officiating issues in our league. Her response was, well, only the losers complain about the refs. I also asked how she planned to fix the fact that players like Caitlin, Angel, and Paige, who are clearly driving massive revenue for the league, are making so little for their first 4 years. Her response was, Caitlin should be grateful she makes $16 million off the court, because without the platform that the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything. And in that same conversation, she told me players should be on their knees thanking their lucky stars for the media rights deal that I got them. That's a mentality driving our league from the top. I have the privilege of watching my husband run a league where he has to balance 100 different things at once. I won't pretend the job is easy, but even with all of that on his plate, he always takes the time to reach out to players when he sees an injury, whether it's Unrivaled or even during the WNBA season. That is what leadership looks like. It's the human element. It's basic integrity, and it's the bare minimum any leader should embody. This year alone, I've gotten calls, texts, and well wishes from so many players across the league. Those moments remind me that sometimes there are things bigger than the results than this game we play. But do you know who I haven't heard from? CATHY. Not one call, not one text. Instead, the only outreach has come from her number 2 telling my agent that she doesn't believe physical play is contributing to injuries. That is infuriating, and it's the perfect example of the tone-deaf, dismissive approach that our leaders always seem to take. I've finally grown tired. For too long, I have tried to have these conversations in private, but it's clear there is no intention of accepting there's a problem. The league has made it clear it isn't about innovation, it isn't about collaboration, it's about control and power. I've earned this platform and I've paid the price to get here, and now I have a responsibility to speak on behalf of the fans and everyone in this league that deserves better. Our leadership's answer to being held accountable is to suppress everyone's voices by handing out fines. I'm not concerned about a fine. I'm concerned about the future of our sport. At some point, everyone deserves to hear the truth from someone who I hope has earned the benefit of the doubt to fight for what is right and fair for our athletes and our fans. We have the best players in the world. We have the best fans in the world. But right now, we have the worst leadership in the world. If I didn't know exactly what the job entailed, maybe I wouldn't feel this way. But unfortunately for them, I do. We serve a league that has shown they think championship coaches and Hall of Fame players are dispensable, and that's fine. It's professional sports. But I will not stand quietly by and allow different standards to be applied at the league level. Thank you. Yes. Again, I want to be clear. This is not about winning and losing. People, coaches, players, winning and losing are complaining about these same things. And again, the league talks about sustainability. This is about sustainability. How are you going to protect your players? How are you going to make sure that we have the best product on the floor night after night when it's so inconsistent and people are getting hurt left and right? I'm sure that they will find me. It seems like anything with free speech is fine now. So,
5 minutes before you walked in here, the WNBA sent another press release announcing more money, more TV rights deals that they just secured. Do you think it's a little premature to announce all the money they're making when they haven't come to a deal with the people that play the game on the floor on their behalf?
It's something that they continue to do. And, but in the same breath, they cry that they don't have enough money to pay the players, that they don't have the sustainability to pay the players when they're selling teams for $300 million, when valuations are going up to almost $500 million. Like, it doesn't make sense to us. It's why we're fighting so hard in our CBA and what we're going to continue to fight for.
At what point between, the end of the season and today did you decide that, that was how you wanted to open this and, you wanted to prepare something like that? I think just seeing, the response as well, just hearing over and over and over again, we have the best refs in the world, we don't have a problem, none of the injuries are due to physicality in the way that we're reffing. It's an insult to my intelligence, honestly. I've played this game for my entire life, and you think that I don't know what it looks like, when it's played the way it's supposed to be played. And whether the league believes it has a problem or not, just even acknowledging it to the players would be a step in the right direction. There is clearly a problem. People across the board, coaches, players, winning, losing, fans, everyone can see that there's a problem. Accepting that is the first stage. In any support group you go to, acceptance is the first stage. If they could just accept that and say it to us and then put a plan in place to make changes, that would go a long way, just even in the perception of how this is being handled.
Because of who you are in this league, this is obviously going to be a big moment. A lot of people are going to talk about this statement. What does this mean for the future of the relationship between the players and the league with potentially lockout conversation happening?
As I said, these are conversations that I've been having in private, and I think it's time that people know what's happening, the way that the league is not valuing us the way that we need to be valued. A lot of us in leadership have seen that as we're in these negotiations, but, as time goes on and these things keep happening, I think it just is time for some of these things to come to light. Some of these statements are absurd, so.
Are you speaking for yourself, or do you feel like you're speaking for...
I'm speaking for myself. I'm not speaking for anyone else. I'm sure other people feel this way. But I want to be clear, I'm speaking for myself. This is how I feel.
Do you think CATHY underestimates the platform that some of you guys already have on your own?
Based on some of the statements she makes, I would say yes. Not just since I got hurt. This is something that has been talked about for years, but yes.
Do you feel like the transparency, you've mentioned bringing these things to light, officials especially, you can't even look up box score stats on officials like in any other sport. How much is the transparency of this league an issue just for it to move forward?
It's a huge issue. We have no idea what the checks and balances are. We have no idea what goes on. Coaches have to send in a review after every game, on an official. I don't see how it has any relevance to what happens to an official. That's super frustrating.
More kind of like a Lynx-centric of it. There's going to be a lot of questions with the CBA and all of that going forward. Have you thought about what your future is going to look like, whether it's in Minnesota or elsewhere?
Honestly, I'm super focused on the CBA right now. Cheryl knows how much I love playing for her. The city of Minnesota, or the state of Minnesota, I hope knows how much I love playing here. But right now, I'm so focused on the CBA that I haven't thought about it.
What is the next step of the CBA for you and the rest of the league, and how do you guys plan to approach this before hopefully a lockout?
We're just working really hard to, make sure that we are putting ourselves in the best position to negotiate for what we think is fair. We have a lot of meetings internally, making sure that we're all on the same page, that we're all in lockstep for this, and yeah, just making sure that we're all super aligned. Face-to-face, no. We have a lot of Zoom meetings just because I'm sure now that the season is over, we'll set one of those, but it's just hard, especially at the end of the season.
How do you best explain why you're sitting here right now and not preparing for another series? I mean, 2 Sundays ago, you win Game 1 against Phoenix. Clearly, if you had played Game 4, that might have changed the outcome. But what the heck changed in the course of a week?
Dropping that game too, Phoenix just outplayed us. I mean, again, credit to Phoenix. Congratulations to them for making to the finals. They outplayed us in this series. Of course, do I wish that we had all our healthy players, and do I hope the outcome would have been different? Yes, but there's a lot of teams that can say that. And so, really, they played better than us in this series. They won the game. And again, to be clear, this statement is not about that. It's not about us winning and losing games. So I give credit to Phoenix for how they played in the series.
Yeah, before we forget about this, your left ankle, we didn't get a whole lot of details about how badly hurt it is. What exactly was the diagnosis, and could you have played if you guys advanced to the finals?
I couldn't have played. It was almost the exact same injury as my other ankle, actually. So I had a couple torn ligaments, torn shin muscle, but no broken bones, which is good. We do. We are really transparent with the players. For example, the one-on-one tournament that we had was so physical the first day. So we had a meeting with the players and the refs, having a meeting about how it should be officiated, how we want to clean it up. We had several meetings throughout the season with the players about what they liked, what they didn't, what they thought about the officiating, just trying to be as transparent as possible and then making those fixes in real time. So even the second day of the one-on-one tournament, it was reffed completely differently. Throughout the season, it started getting ref differently when we started getting feedback and seeing the physicality. So, yes.
And then how would you contrast that with what Cathy always says about how the WNBA officials are always undergoing training and evaluation, but yet nothing ever seems to change?
You said it. Nothing ever seems to change.
Do you think the WNBA needs their own set of officials where they are full-time members of the WNBA, where their focus is on you guys during the season and the off-season?
I don't know what needs to happen. To be honest, I think, first of all, you have to invest in things that you want to be better. So if we want to have good officials who aren't using the WNBA as a stepping stone to get to the NBA, we have to pay them accordingly. Right now, a lot of our officials are making more than the rookies. That's not saying that the officials should make less. We should make more, and they should also be making more. If we want quality people and officials and everything, you have to invest in those areas. And so I think that's probably something that they should look at.